I can't wait to do this.
Well, and sitting with both of these teams and talking in the meetings and media day and all the hoopla that goes into this, there was one common theme. They're ready to stop the talking and start playing football.
Yeah, they were probably ready a while ago. Now they can just focus on it. It's done. The only talking they have to worry about now is post-game, and they hope that they'll be talking as the winning team.
And we'll see. You know, both sides come in with a game plan to start. We'll see how the adjustments are made throughout, because there are always adjustments in this game.
I want to see if they come out conservative, trying to minimize errors, or if they have enough confidence to attack early and try and take advantage of the other team's nervousness.
Years after Joe Namath and the guarantee, we are underway in Super Bowl 53. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take
Texas A&M, and also took his studies pretty seriously as well. He was a biology major at Texas A&M, planned to become an orthopedic surgeon, but being the 8th pick in the NFL draft, that paid just a little bit better.
Now a play fake here on first down. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Devon Kennard. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Off play action, Tannehill. Into heavy traffic, and it's Nevin Lawson with a pick. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Striking first in any game is very important, but on this stage, the biggest of stages in the Super Bowl, that's huge.
You fully expect the other team to battle all the way through, but when you're the one setting the pace, jumping out in front, that has to feel great for the entire organization.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. Prater for the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 23. Here's the first carry now for Frank Gore. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
To throw on 2nd down is Tannehill. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. He couldn't hook up with Amendola there, and that'll make it 3rd down. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings.
False start, offense.
Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Tannehill. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And his arm strength is often described as out of this world, and I've seen some throws out of him that are just really off the charts. But sometimes he relied on his arm so much his footwork got in the way, led to some inconsistency. But I've loved watching him evolve as a quarterback. He gets better and better each year.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 21. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. The defensive end, Cameron Wake, brings him down. And now the offense for Detroit.
One way I really judge a player's value is when opponents know what your strengths are, yet they still can't take that away. That tells me you're a heck of a player. For Theo Riddick, everyone knows about his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, yet he's still the primary target for Matthew Stafford on just about any passing situation.
Off the bootleg. Stafford. Completing it to the right side. Johnson. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and they're going to have a third down. And let's run through the Dolphins' defense.
One of the more underrated yet valuable positions in the NFL is safety, and Rashad Jones epitomizes what you're looking for. A guy who can drop down into the box in the run game and tackle those bigger, stronger running backs. He can also cover people, whether it's tight ends or bigger slot guys, and that gives him the ability to stay on the field every down and make big plays.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he locates Luke Wilson. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Stafford to the former Seahawk Wilson for Lions first.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and put the down marker back to one.
And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
When I see Cameron Wake make plays like that, I can't help but shake my head sometimes. He had to go to Canada first before he came back to the NFL. Or he's now an all-pro.
Yeah, undrafted out of Penn State, but look at him now.
And just think about all the pass-rushing moves he has, his ability to play against the run. Remember, he was a combo outside linebacker, defensive end. Now he's just simply one of the best in the NFL.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. It was a safety, Rashad Jones, that time, who was able to break up the play.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point: get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Throwing is Stafford. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they're throwing interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. After the interception, here's Tannehill. And he finds Danny Amendola. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Now a first down throw, Tannehill. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. Second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Tannehill. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Out to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Robert Quinn able to run him down for a loss of a yard. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. Charles, that's an important third down stop. You don't want to spot him 2 touchdowns here early.
You're trying to slow momentum down. You've already given up the score. They're coming right back at you. You're exactly right. Being able to hold them there and force a decision on fourth down, that's big for the defense.
And this may be a big early turning point in this Super Bowl. They're going to go for it on fourth down here. They snap it to Stafford. And my goodness, this is incomplete. The Lions turned away on fourth down. And the Dolphins defense is able to hold. Or you feel the excitement build on those fourth down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on fourth down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on fourth down. Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll start on the ground with Gore. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Credit the tackle that time to Deshaun Hand.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Tannehill now on 2nd down. And Stills over the middle. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Let's go.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gore. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Gore again here on first down. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gore. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. He dumps it off to Drake. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On first down, it's Gore. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a handoff for Gore. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play call, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Tannehill. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jarrett Davis in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Here's Matt Hawk now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands right there.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
One thing rookies need to learn at this level and quick, Make a cut, be decisive, and go. Because in college, you could dance around and wait for a hole to open because you're probably a better athlete than most of the guys on the field, but not on the NFL level.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. Bobby McCain here, the one who brings him down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that tough...
And from their own end zone, it's a fake. First by him near the 35. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
First foray into the red zone for Miami. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. On the handoff, it's Gore. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, here's Tannehill. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Still 3rd down.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Tannehill now to throw. He'll set up the screen to Drake. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So that'll move them up 5, make the kick a little easier.
Rarely do you get kickers that don't want some yardage closer to the post, right? It's rare, but in this case, they'll definitely take them.
The kick by Sanders is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
He'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now a handoff. Johnson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. Might want to try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively. He'll buy some time right. He can run for it, and he will. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that 1st down. Now, I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
A couple of 1st downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Cameron Lake in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Stafford. Sliding out of the pocket. On the run, he'll let this go deep. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
A 1st carry for Kenyon Drake. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Tannehill. And this is incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes it's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
So line of scrimmage, still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Gore. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On third down, they'll run with Gore. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Miami. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like this, shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Stafford. He's got Wilson, middle of the field. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1.
Alert! 21.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked off by the linebacker, Raekwon McMillan. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Here's Gore. Heck of a move, but only able to work his way down near the 23. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
So 1 quarter down here in the Super Bowl. 7-3 the score. We'll return after this message. You're watching the NFL, and it's right here on EA Sports.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 5 here, so he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Here's Tannehill. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Sanders' kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Underneath for Johnson. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They're 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a first carry for LeGarrette Blount. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. To throw is Stafford. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Cameron Wake in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night.
How about that, partner? His 2nd sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him. And our focus now shifts to Frank Gore. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Ashawn Robinson coming out of the University of Alabama, a big, physical, intimidating force who had to learn to play with more leverage. Otherwise, he was going to get blown off the ball in the NFL. Looks like he's learning his lessons after that play.
Now it's Gore. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Dolphins on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 16. From the gun, here's Tannehill. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And a big 32-yard play on third.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Now Gore. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. So after the sack of Tannehill, the Dolphins come up here on a 3rd and long. Now it's Tannehill. And complete. This is Albert Wilson. He's going to go. Albert Wilson. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Albert Wilson, 53 yards. And the Dolphins are in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they? When they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown. And this one, they help force another incompletion.
And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
3rd and 2, Stafford. He hits Riddick underneath. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They are going to go for it. It's Stanford. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the Dolphins get the football in great field position. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because last drive, when you scored points, then when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Miami.
It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that a defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, it's two guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run. And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
To throw on 2nd down is Tannehill. Catch made right side by Wilson. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Tannehill finding Wilson for the Miami first down. Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. Now another carry here tonight for Gore. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Here's Tannehill. Complete. He tried to leave it underneath. Nearly got picked. They may be lucky to have that one back. 3rd down.
Well, already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half. Unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Tannehill. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. He's at the 30. And how about that return as he's all the way inside the 20-yard line.
And that's the type of return that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense now. They've got to go out on the field almost like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. They've got to go out there and try and stop them. But, boy, what a tough spot they're in.
Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
That's so educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
Dancing to his left. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So on 4th down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. From the left hash, this from 37. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the deficit trimmed to 6 now at 16-10. Well, maybe a little bit of an anxious moment there as that ball got closer and closer, but it does curl in.
Yeah, actually did a little bit of a slow dance there with the left upright, didn't it? But had just enough space, as you said, for it to curl in.
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
On 1st and 10, Tannehill. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run. It's Gore. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Tannehill. And that's going to be incomplete. The former Pro Bowler Glover Quinn there making the play.
In most pass defenses, the guy playing safety has the ability to roam free and try and go to the football. But when you're in man, you've got to cover just like a guy playing out on the corner. Lock up on the receiver and go to the football. That's exactly what he did, batting that one away.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now it's Tannehill off the bootleg. And he finds Stills, complete. Tannehill finding Stills, and it's a Dolphin 1st down.
When the spotlight is at its brightest, and let's face it, it's the Super Bowl, those types of plays come out, don't they?
Absolutely. A big-time catch on the biggest of stages.
Do you think that that one's going to live on? We're going to see this for a long
Definitely going to live on forever with him, that's for sure.
No doubt.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Play action. It's Tannehill. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Draw play. Tannehill gives to Drake. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 2nd down, here's Tannehill. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ziggy Ansah coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Lions now. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. On 2nd down, here's Stafford. On the crossing route, complete. It's Wilson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 63 yards receiving for him now. And that last catch good enough for a 1st down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Here's Johnson. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
The Lions on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back on Super Bowl Sunday after this. A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. From the gun, here's Stafford. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before. And right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offensive coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. But a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
Drake will start the drive on the ground. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. The linebacker, Christian Jones, there to make the stop.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here's Tannehill now on 2nd down. It's caught outright, Amendola. And shutting him off, now open field. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
From the red zone now, Tannehill. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Danny Amendola, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Dolphins
drive was quick and impressive. Almost like they had somewhere else they needed to be after the game.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Sanders now to kick this one away. The return man here, T.J. Jones. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Out of the gun, Stafford. Hard throw, incomplete. Normally, I'd say this will lead to a punt attempt, but this offense already shown in the first half that they'll go for it on 4th down.
Well, they should have already said, punt it, Head coach should have already made that decision.
Taken in at the 22.